Hello, hello, hello. We are live. All right. Today I'm going to have as my guest Wally Green. And so I will bring Wally on as soon as Wally joins, and then we'll find out more about him. I'm excited. This is going to be awesome. And it's going to, even if you're watching on the replay, it's going to be great. So let's go. I'm excited. I'm excited. Wally will be here to tell about his background and how he pivoted from where he came and where he is right now. So if you have any comments when you're watching the replay, go ahead and put it in the comments and we'll look at it later and definitely answer it. I'm sure Wally would be able to answer it later on as well. So hello, Robin. Good to see you here. I am waiting for my guest of honor. So hopefully you can stay the whole time if you can. Hello, Courage Giver. Hello, nephew. So good to see you guys here. I am waiting for my guest of honor, and then I will bring him on as soon as he comes on. So as I was saying, that during the hello, good to see you. I know that you're probably pumping iron somewhere, nephew. Or on your way to be pumping iron. Hey, lady. Yes, great to see you. I hope that the school year is going well. So I see all your posts that you're putting on. Love your outfits. Love your outfits. So absolutely. So I hope you can all stay. And I know some of you can't stay the whole time, so I understand. But if you can, it's going to be exciting for sure. So let's see if Wally, I just sent him an invite. And a lot of times the invites are not working if the person hasn't already joined the live. So we'll see how it goes this time. But thank you. Right back at you, Robin. Right back at you. Yes. So I'm excited because Wally has very colorful background, and where he is now is amazing. So I cannot wait to hear his whole backstory and find out how he pivoted. So hopefully when somebody's watching this during the replay, that it'll inspire someone that if he can do it, they certainly can as well. So I'm excited. So, oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Uh-oh. Okay, says Wally's unable to join. So hopefully Wally will come on here. But thank you so much. Thank you so much, RJ. I appreciate that. Yes, I try to look decent for these lives. Um, there he is. Look at that. All right. Let's go ahead and ask Wally to join us. And hopefully he'll pop up like magic. So, yes. I see Wally too, and I have invited him. So hopefully he'll pop up. I'll try it one more. There we go. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Good to see you.
Yes.
Thank you, Robin. So hello, everyone. Today, I am just excited to have Wally Green. I'm going to give a little bit of background on Wally, and then Wally's going to share all that he can from my questions. And also, please leave your questions in the question box, and I'll pull it up at the end so that Wally can answer the questions at the end. Are we ready? I'm excited. Okay, so my guest today is Wally Green. celebrity table tennis pro entertainer who grew up in a housing project in Brooklyn where gangs and violence were a huge part of his life. Today, his life is completely changed by the sport of table tennis, and he has represented the US in numerous international competitions across the globe. The most recent being North Korea, and I can't wait to hear that, where he was the only Westerner who dared to participate. His ping pong diplomacy is, I will make them love me. He has also appeared in numerous media outlets, from talk shows to TV spots to newspapers and magazines. And he co-founded Spin New York, New York's premier social ping pong club, bar, and restaurant, taking the sport of ping pong and making it cool, hip, and fun for everyone. So welcome, Wally. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My first question is, I love your mantra of no one being able to beat you on your table. Please give us a background as to what led to you becoming a pro table tennis athlete.
Well, I grew up in the projects. I had a really hard life. At the age of 13, I was already involved with gangs and guns at an early age, and that went on till about 17. And the way my life was going was the direction of either jail or dead. Like, there was no other way. And lucky for me, someone helped me. I'm skipping a lot of the story, but someone helped me out, and they saw something in me. And this is after they saw me in possession of a weapon. So, I mean, it's pretty incredible that they still wanted to help me, and they offered to pay for me to go to Germany to learn ping pong, a sport that I hated as a kid.
Wow, that's amazing. So they knew where you were and were willing
Yeah.
to send you to Germany. That is awesome. That is awesome. So share with us your trip to North Korea and whether you were able to keep in touch with any from that tournament.
So the North Korean trip came later in my life, after I became this popular table tennis player. I wanted to do something that was bigger than myself, and I saw that there was a competition in North Korea. So every year we can see the world competitions 1 year ahead of time, and so I was like, "Whoa! There's a competition in North Korea. I want to recreate or create history." So a quick lesson on American history. In 1971, we had President Nixon, and America established relations with China through ping pong. It's called the ping pong diplomacy. That's where the movie Forrest Gump touches on. And so I wanted to do my own diplomacy through the sport that at that time I loved so much. And I contacted everyone in the world. No one would go with me to North Korea. Everyone said, "You're going to die. You're not going to come back. They're going to kidnap you. They're going to do this. They're going to do that." And so I said, all right, well, if no one, and I contacted people from around the world, right? And I said, okay, if no one wants to go, then I'll go and I'll do this diplomacy for world peace by myself. And that's what I did. I went alone. I was pretty much the only Westerner that competed in this competition. And I went there with no plan. That's the most amazing thing about it. I went to do a diplomacy for world peace in the most dangerous country in the world with zero plan, but it worked out.
Awesome, awesome. And while you were there, how was the food?
so, so they tailored the food according to the association, right? So I'm playing for USA. So my food was more kind of a little Western. Then you had the Vietnamese, their food was more Asian. You know, I actually preferred the Asian food. Actually, they gave me some pasta stuff that I was like, all right, I don't really like this. So yeah, it was tailored more towards Western culture. My food anyway, but
Right.
everyone else's food was tailored towards their country.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. And so what did you get out of that particular trip from North Korea? How did you leave feeling? How was your relationship with the Korean players? Tell us about it.
So being being a Westerner in a country like that, it's totally alien to them. And then you have to remember, it's a country where you're the devil, you're evil, and you should be killed. This is the thought process of what North Koreans think, or what they're taught to think. So I remember when I was coming out to play against a North Korean player, we both walked out together, one umpire with him, one umpire with me, and there was about, maybe, I don't know, anywhere from 3 to 5,000 fans watching. Right now, you got to remember, everyone in North Korea are North Koreans. There are no other people who would be watching this in North Korea. It's just all North Koreans. And as I was walking out, you have all these eyes just looking at you, like everyone's staring at you, right? First of all, I'm a Westerner. That's already a strike, right? Then I'm a black dude with like yellow hair with designs in it. And they were like, well, they're probably saying, what the hell are we looking at? But yeah, everyone's just looking at you. And it's crazy to have, I mean, picture going somewhere and every single person in there eyes is on you, right? So anyway, as I mentioned, I didn't have a plan, right? And I didn't know when the plan was going to manifest itself. But the first step to any plan is the action, right? And the action was me actually taking the necessary steps to get myself there. So I already completed the action. Now we just needed this plan to manifest. So anyway, the match starts, right? I go into focus mode. I'm not really worried anymore about the 5,000 people looking at me. I'm in, just focus mode. And I win the first 5 points. And with every point that I win, there was a sound that people made. And the sound was like this. And it was a sound of disapproval. Now picture playing a match, right, in a country that is very dangerous for Westerners, and every single person watching this match is against you, and they show it with a disapproving sound, right? So every time I made a point, I heard this sound. On the 6th point, he made a point. Everyone started clapping. It got really loud. Blah, blah. Then he made another point, really loud. Then another point, just like you see in the media, clapping in unison, loud. And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. I couldn't even concentrate, right? So then, normally I would get really pissed off or angry because it's just way too loud to concentrate. Like, this sport needs a lot of concentration. But what I did was I looked up and I just smiled. I looked up and I smiled. And when I looked up and smiled, there was a chain reaction. Everyone who was watching started smiling and started chuckling. And then I was like, wait a minute. Okay, this is weird. This is weird. So then we play a point. He won again. He made a lot of noise. I looked up, I smiled again, and it happened again. But more now. Now everyone started smiling and kind of laughing and chuckling. And I was like, oh my God. I said, this is where this diplomacy for world peace is going to happen. It's going to happen right here. This is my moment. This is it, right? Because if you think about it, I could have played against a Chinese and a Vietnamese. Then I would have went there for nothing. Right? But I got to play with the North Korean. And so I figured, all right, this is the moment. I don't need to focus on this match. I need to focus on this contact with all these people that I have right now, right? They're all smiling because I'm smiling. So this is what I need to focus on. So I kept doing that, right? And then the greatest part came after the match. After the match, of course, I lost the match. And you're supposed to shake hands with your opponent. Right? You have to shake hands. And I walked towards my opponent. My opponent didn't really walk towards me because he obviously didn't want to shake my hand, right? But you have to, because it's sport etiquette, it's a world tournament, and you will look really bad. So he put his hand out, but not really to shake my hand, but just to kind of like, when someone doesn't want to shake hand, they kind of like give you the regular touch hand like this.
Right.
And as soon as he did that, I grabbed his arm, I pulled him in, and gave him the biggest hug in his life. He's never had a hug this big. And let me tell you, my camera is facing my back, which is his face. At first, his face was like, but then guess what? He smiled. He smiled. You can't
Yeah.
fake that. It's genuine. It's a genuine smile, right? For the
Yes.
rest of his life, he'll never forget it. So I
Yes.
always say that you can't change people overnight. Change doesn't happen overnight. But what you can do is that you can plant the seed. If you plant the seed
Right.
of change, then maybe later down in the future, maybe when the government says something, they'll say, you know what? No, I remember this American guy that came here and he showed us nothing but love. You know, he hugged our guy. He was smiling with us, right? And that's the
Right.
seed that I planted. So for me, it was a real success. And I was super happy that that just manifested itself. Because like I said, I had zero plan.
That's awesome. And you know, people are saying, Paul says, that's awesome, planting the seed of change, and the courage giver says yes. So we will, I mean, you're braver than I am, and thank God that you were able to go in there and plant that seed and let them see that, you know, an African American can come in here, and you didn't win the game, right?
No, I lost. I lost the match because
Right.
now I'm more focused on this connection
Yes.
with these North Koreans, right?
Yes.
Because I got 5,000 people smiling. Forget
Right.
about this match. Now the real purpose is making peace
Right.
and showing them love. And so I just
Right.
focused on that.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. That's a wonderful, beautiful story. And the Courage Giver says that. Beautiful story. So my next question is, I see that you're someone who takes care of himself physically. Please
Yes.
share what you do for a workout or workouts and why you choose that.
So usually for my workouts involve a lot of playing my sport. So I play two sports, pro, which is ping pong, and then also another sport called paddle tennis. So I'm always playing either or, and
Mm-hmm.
especially table tennis or ping pong. I like the word ping pong. It's very aerobic, right? With
Mm-hmm.
every
Mm-hmm.
motion that we do, it requires your whole body. So if you're gonna play a forehand requires your legs, requires your core, requires your whole body. So there are a lot of drills that we do, which are definitely really difficult, very good for cardio, very good for strength and core. So a lot of my exercises come from being on the table. That's where most of them come from. I'm not really a runner, so I don't really do running so much. But like I said, our drills and exercises are definitely strong in cardio. So I do that, or I do these marathon matches. I have this little small paddle. It's about like that here. So like the size of a normal paddle would be this. This is a normal paddle size,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
The little one is a
Yes.
quarter of this size.
Oh,
And so what I do is I play marathon matches with the little paddle.
wow.
So I'll play like maybe 4 hours straight, nonstop, just straight, crazy, crazy points in matches, and that's also how I get my exercise.
Wow. And so I love that because there are some people that don't want to go to the gym or they don't want to do a regimented type
Yeah,
exercise. So to hear you say the ping pong that you do, that's your physical activity
yeah.
and that's how you work out is awesome because people that are going to be watching this on the replay that don't like to work out are going to say, okay, I'm going to find whatever it is that I love, right? And
Yes,
that's what
yes.
I'm going to do to keep myself physically active. So I love that answer. And Paul says, "Sheesh, 4 hours." So
For people who don't like to work out, right?
right,
It's I think a lot of time their mindset is, oh, workout means I have to go to the gym and pump iron, or I gotta go and run 25 miles. No. I mean, even if you just walk out your house, you take a walk down the stairs, up the
right,
block, across the street, but you do it every day. It's the
yes,
consistency.
yes,
Consistency is more important, right? You do it every day. Take a walk. Today you walk 1 block. That's it. Come back home, relax. Maybe
yes,
tomorrow you walk 3 blocks. Maybe the next week you walk 5 blocks, 10 blocks, like that.
yes,
And that's how
yes.
you get your workouts.
Love it, love it. I remember seeing you recently on TikTok playing table tennis with someone, and it looked like you were in a gym, a school gym,
Oh
and
yeah.
you jumped off the stage.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
you were still volleying that ball back
Yeah,
and
yeah.
forth,
That was crazy.
and then got back on stage and won
Yeah,
the
yeah.
match.
That was
I
crazy.
was like, this is insane. But
Yeah.
that was amazing. That was amazing to see. So if you guys want to check him out on TikTok, make sure you're putting your questions in the question box so that afterwards he can answer your questions. All right. So my next question, Wally, is weight loss and maintaining a healthy body comes mainly from what we eat.
Yeah.
Would you share your advice on meal choices and what you avoid?
Yeah, so that's, I mean, that's huge, man. That is so huge. I used to, when I was younger, I used to eat a lot of garbage, right? Like McDonald's, like just a lot of garbage. And it definitely takes a toll on your body. Like you really, I mean, eating healthy is so important. At least 80%. You know, of course you can have 20%. Maybe you want to go get a McDonald's, you want to get a hamburger, maybe some French fries. All right, that's fine. You know, I never say you shouldn't eat bad stuff, but the most of your diet should be healthy because you know you can feel it. You can feel it, especially me as an athlete. I feel if I've eaten stuff consistently that I shouldn't be eating, I'll feel tired. I'll feel sluggish. My energy won't be the same. The energy will definitely be a lot lower. So I eat a lot of Asian food. I'm big in the Asian food place. So I eat like a lot of noodles. I eat rice for carbs. You know, just very healthy stuff. I don't really eat oily, anything kind of oily or fatty. Of course, I'll have my meats, proteins, you know, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I definitely try to eat healthy. And yeah, you know, once in a while I have my snacks. Gotta have my snacks. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and the
Mm-hmm.
snacks are something that will keep me maybe throughout the day, right? So my diet is
Yes.
probably different than most people. Like I don't eat breakfast only because like people like generally they say breakfast is your energy starter. I have
Mm-hmm.
natural energy already. I don't need any more energy for the morning. So breakfast actually for me slows me down. It makes it. If I eat breakfast in the morning, I just feel tired. So I
Right.
don't eat breakfast in the morning. I'll eat lunch, but during the day, I'll have like maybe have some raisins, some dried fruit. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I drink a lot of fluid. You know, Gatorade, water, juice, like and like this. And then in the evening, then I'll eat dinner. I always eat dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Dinner for me is my most important thing.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. I'm glad that you said that because we don't want to be too restrictive and
Right.
then people fail. And so we don't even call it a diet. It's making healthy choices. And like Wally's saying, if you're making that 80% of the time, then you can have your days
Yeah.
and so that you don't feel like, oh, I'm so restricted that I don't even enjoy food anymore.
Right. Right.
So that's awesome. That's awesome. So my next question, and also I see there are two questions so far in the box. So keep putting your questions there so I can pull them up at the end of the interview. So my next question is, what advice would you give a young person who is interested in learning and competing in table tennis or ping pong, since you love ping pong better than table tennis?
um, I would give one better. I would say in general, if there's anything that you want to do in general, the first step is going to be action, right? You have to try to get into it no matter what, right? No matter, I mean,
Yes.
anything that you think of or any idea, any sport, any job, any relationship, it all requires the first step is action, action, action,
Yes.
action. You have to get in there, you know, see what it's like, feel it out, because there may be things that you think you want to do, right? And then you get into it,
Right.
you're like, wait a minute, this is not for me. So that's why I say action is always the most important thing, because once you do the action, then you'll say, oh, you know, I like this, you know, oh, this is cool. Or maybe, you know what, this is not really for me. Everything is not for everybody,
Right.
right? Now, in terms of ping pong or table tennis, there's a lot of like clubs, local clubs in the areas. All you have to do is just find a club. You go there. A very important thing, very very important thing. If you're looking to become pro, you're looking to become at a high level, you need to take lessons. This
Mm-hmm.
is, let me tell you, I'll tell you something about this sport that most people don't know. This is the only sport, first of all, this is the number 2 sport in the world, right? So number 1 is soccer, number 2, table tennis, ping pong.
Wow.
And it's the only sport in the world where you can play 20 years every day and still be horrible. There's no other sport that exists. If you go to the basketball court and you shoot hoops every day for 20 years, you're pretty damn good, right? If you play tennis
Right.
every day, any sport except this sport, because the problem is you can only go so far by yourself. There's certain things that you will never know that are crucial to this sport that if
Right.
someone does not teach you,
Right.
then you'll never ever know it, and you will stay at that level forever. Yeah. So
Gotcha.
that's a good tip there.
Yeah, and thank you for telling me. I did not realize ping pong is the number 2 sport
Yep.
in the world.
Yep.
That's awesome. All right, so my next question. What advice would you give an older person who wanted to start playing table tennis for recreation?
Oh man, it's great. Listen to me. Listen. So hold on. Now I love this question. This question, I love it really. No, and I tell you the reason why I love it is because a lot of times we always focus on the younger generation. It's always the younger generation, the younger generation, younger generation. What about the older generation? Like they're
Right.
still here. Like, you know, I think it's one of the best things for older people. And I'll tell you why. First of all, it's good for eye-hand coordination, which is very important for stuff like Alzheimer's, for stuff like Parkinson's, right?
Yes.
This is fact, right? This
Yes.
sport is really good for that stuff, right?
Yes.
And there's no need for them to jump around like me and go crazy. You can just the point of hitting the ball, using your arm, hitting the ball back and forth, eye-hand coordination. You're moving your entire body. So you're
Right.
getting that little light workout, right? Of course, the
Right.
harder you move, the harder the workout. But for them, they don't need to move that much. So just getting it back and forth, back and forth like that, moving your body. It's so good. It's so good for the mental. It's good for the heart. And another thing it's very good for is good for being social, right?
Yes.
It's social
Yes.
because the person you're playing against is right there. He's right
Right.
there. So meanwhile, you're playing, but at the same time, you're conversating and talking. Oh, how was your day? Yeah, that shot was good. Like this. I know, I know so many people who are like in their 60s, 70s, even 80s that are still playing this sport. And some of them compete. Some of them still
Awesome.
compete. Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. No, I love that. I love your answer because yes, the eye hand coordination, I can just see it, and I can just see that their heart rate would be elevated, so they'll get that
Yes.
cardio in. So yes,
And the
thank you for
brain
that.
and the brain is working. The
Yes.
brain is constantly working. Anytime you have to look at something, watch it come to you, and then hit it, connect it. That's your brain sending signals back and forth constantly. So
Right.
it's very good for the brain.
Right. Awesome. Awesome. For those of you that are just joining, go ahead. If you have questions, put it in the question box because I am going to pull it up at the end of the interview, and Wally is going to answer your questions. So, the Courage Giver says you're an inspiration, Wally.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that.
100, 100. Okay, my next question is share your club with us and explain the dynamics of your club.
Yes. So the name of our club is called Spin. We have a bunch of locations throughout the country, and they're all called Spin. So it would be Spin New York, Spin Chicago, Spin Seattle. And what we did was we took the sport of ping pong, which is ping pong is a very serious sport. If you ever go around ping pong players, we may not be the most friendly of the athletes. Yeah, so if you ever take your date to a normal ping pong club, that might be the last date you go on. So we wanted to create an atmosphere where that would not happen for people who are ping pong enthusiasts, but they don't need to be really, really serious. So we took the sport and we made it fun by adding a restaurant, by adding a bar, by adding DJs, by having events, social events, charity events. And now this sport has become something that's just fun to do. But at the same time, every Friday night we do a show, right? And we haven't started the show in full effect yet. You know, I MC it, you know, I host it, and we give away free drinks by having people play these fun games, and that's where the fun is. And then we still show the seriousness of the sport by having two pros play each other for a cash prize. So while everybody's having fun, you still get to see two players really play. Okay. And then you're like, whoa, this is crazy. So that's what we did. We took the sport, made it fun and entertaining for everyone.
Awesome. I was not aware that there are other locations. So altogether in the United States, how many of these clubs are there?
Now we have about 7. So we just opened in Boston.
Okay. Now, are these all owned by you or are they franchises?
So the one in Toronto, we have one in Toronto as a franchise, but the rest are owned by Spin Global, which is the bigger company.
Okay. Awesome. That is wonderful. Okay, so then my next question, I've got to share this before I go to my next question. Paul says, don't take the dates to ping pong clubs. Good to know.
unless it's my club, then it's for sure.
Right.
You know, you got to have the restaurant, you got to have the bar, you know, but not just the normal ping pong club.
Right. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so then my next question is, please discuss whether goal setting should be part of weight loss. What would you say are the pros and cons of goal setting as it pertains to weight or life in general?
So here's so this is a good question. So here's the thing with goal setting. There's certain kind of goal setting, and I think people need to be really careful about the kind of goals you set. So for example, let's say I started ping pong today, and I say, you know what? I'm going to be the world champion. That's a dream. That's not a goal. Right? And it's probably an unlikely goal. So you kind of set yourself up to fail. I think we need to make smart goals. Smart goals are really important. And I'll give you an example of how I use smart goals in my career when I played. When I first started playing in the Pro Tour, I sucked. I was the worst person in the world. The worst in the world. In the world. I was the worst in the world, right? And I was getting killed. But I had this mindset that, man, I'm an athlete. I play every sport. I'm going to be number one, right? So my goal was to be number one. Was it a realistic goal? 100% not. And because I wasn't making a realistic goal, I was actually failing. I was setting myself up to fail. And then what happened was I started thinking, like, wait a minute, you know, I started this sport at 17. These guys started at 3. By saying that, I'm not really respecting them. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just try to get 5 points out of 11. That's what I'm going to do. If I get 5 points out of 11, I win. And in my mind, I believe it, right?
Yes.
And so that's another thing that's very important. Celebrating your wins. You have to celebrate your wins. Even if it's just a tiny win, you celebrate it. So I would get 5 points, right? I would lose. This is so funny. I would lose 4-0, and one game I get 5. I'm like, yeah! And people thought I was mad. They're like, what's wrong with this guy? He just lost, right? But I made a goal and I celebrated my win. Then I went from that. I said, okay, I need to get 5 points in every game. If I get 5 points in every game, I lose 4-0, I win. And I believed it and I celebrated it. Then it went from that. Then it went to 1 game. Then it went to 2 games. Then it went to winning matches. So you need to focus on goals that actually make sense. The goals don't have to be huge. They can be small goals that equal to whatever it is you want to achieve. So I have this saying, and let me see if I can even remember to say it correctly, because I wrote it down, but I don't really say it a lot. You don't have to be where we are. You just need to be where you want to be. And by being where you want to be will get you one step closer to where we are. And so what that means is that if you see a bodybuilder who's super slim and super skinny, your goal you shouldn't say, oh, I need to be like him. No, you don't need to be like him. You need to take the first few steps, right, to be where you want to be or where you need to be. And then those small steps will get to bigger steps, bring you to the goal of getting to where that person is. So
Yes.
smart goals, I think, are so important.
Absolutely. I love that because that touches everything, including weight loss.
Yeah.
There's so many people that say, I want to lose 20 pounds.
Yeah.
And
No.
no, just
Listen.
lose 1 pound a week and
Yes. Yes.
focus on that 1 pound and celebrate that 1 pound. And eventually
Yes.
you'll get to where you
100.
need to be.
Listen. 100%. I remember. I think it was like was it? I think it was maybe 2 years ago. Maybe during the pandemic, I had gained some weight. Right, I had gained some weight, and I was like, man, I need to lose this weight. And I say, you know what? I'm just gonna lose maybe 1 pound a week. That's it. It's easy to do, right?
Yes.
Because now it's easy to do that, and you can celebrate that, and then before you know it, oh man, I've lost 3 pounds this week, right? Because
Yes.
you made a realistic goal, and it was easy to go over that goal. So you're
Yes.
100% right.
Yes. Awesome. Awesome. I want to do these two comments and then I'll move on to my next question. So Paul says, Osapon Strong, he says, oh, Wally, I need that quote again. That was fire. And it'll be on the replay as well.
Yes.
So you can replay this and see it. And then, okay, that was for me. Thank you, Courage Giver. And then Nazu DK says, my goal is to get 1 point over him while my short hold my racket.
Oh, maybe he means like a penhole style. I get it. I get it. I get it.
Oh, okay.
I know what he
Okay.
means.
Okay. That's awesome. All right. Don't forget to put your questions in the question box because I'm getting closer to the end and then Wally can answer your questions. So my next question, Wally, is how do you stay as busy as you are and still find a way to work out? But you actually answered that. So, yes, which is your workout is your sport.
Yes.
So, right. But we also know that you're a dad and a
Yes.
husband. So, how do you find the time to play more ping pong and then
I
also have family
I
time?
I just it's something that I love to do, and it's something that I do every day, right? So
Yes.
it's the equivalent of going to work and then coming home from work, right? So
Right.
it's just something that I've been doing for a long time, and it's it's
Yeah.
it's not hard. It's definitely not. It's not hard. It's not hard at all.
Okay. I love that. I could just see the passion in your eyes and your face when you light up when you talk about ping pong. So,
Yeah, I
yes,
love it.
that's.
I mean, it saved my life. If it wasn't for this sport, I'd be dead or in jail. So I have to love
Mm,
this. I have to love this sport forever.
yes,
I'll be
yes.
100, and I'll be with a kickstand and holding like this, and a paddle is gonna be in my hand. I'll be playing and talking trash, talking about no
And
one's coming on
talking
my table
trash.
and beating me.
Yes, yes, yes. And still probably, your paddle be your phone because I've seen in some of
Yes,
your videos where you use an iPhone as
yeah,
your paddle.
yes.
So that's awesome. All right, my last question, and then we're going to go into the question box. So those of you that are listening, put your questions in the question box and I'll pull them up for Wally to answer. So my last question is, with our current plight with the pandemic, what advice would you give about doing what we can to stay healthy as it pertains to patrons at your club?
So in wait, say the question again.
So, with the current situation that we have with the pandemic,
Yeah.
how are you incorporating that like in your club for people to stay healthy?
So in my club, because of the government mandate,
Mm-hmm.
everyone they ask everyone be vaccinated and show their proof of vaccine. That's that's the government made this.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't make it, and we have to abide by it, or
Mm-hmm.
else there's lots of fines that they're ready to give out really quickly. Yeah,
Right.
and they have people that come there and that make sure that you're actually doing this the right way. And
Right.
I mean, I guess it's all about keeping everyone safe, and
Yes.
not trying to, because it was really difficult. I mean, this pandemic, when all the clubs were closed,
Mm-hmm.
150 people got fired. 150 people lost their jobs. So
Oh gosh.
we don't want nothing. We don't want something like that to happen again. I mean, it's
Right.
really hard. People just, if you lose your job and then you have a family, or you have kids, you, you can't tell your kids, I don't have money to feed you. It doesn't work like that, right?
Right.
So we hope that this never happens going forward. And
Right.
now everything is it's almost back to normal for us, and
Hmm.
we want to keep it that way.
That's great. That is great. That's awesome. All right. So, just one quick question about Germany, and then I'm going to pull up a question. You went to Germany from Brooklyn.
Yeah,
How was that for you as a what were you, about 17?
yeah,
How old were
17,
you?
17,
17.
18. Yeah,
So, how was that going to Germany from Brooklyn, coming from a gang background, and here you are in a European country? And how was that for you?
it was totally insane, because because you have to remember, just because someone says, hey, I'm going to pay for you to go to Germany and learn ping pong, doesn't mean that everything you did every day for the last 17 years just disappeared, right? I still had that gang member mentality. I still had that very violent mentality. And when I went to Germany, I had a really difficult time. The first month or 2 months was really difficult, because I had this anger, I had this violence in me, and there's a term that people use. It's called killing you with kindness. Killing you with kindness is a real thing. This is real. And what it is when you want to be aggressive towards people or an individual, and they're like, oh my God, you're from New York City? Wow, we love New York. Oh my God, we love America. Blah, 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 blah. And you're like, what? Right? And it's so hard. It's so hard to punch the person in the face who's telling you I love you and you're the coolest person in the world. Like, it takes a very special individual to be able to do that, right? I'm not that
Yes.
special to do that kind of thing. So in the beginning, I was confused. I didn't know how to react towards this love that I was getting, and I didn't know how to react in the beginning, and it took me a while. But once, after like a month or a month and a half, something came on my shoulder and said, hey man, why are you angry? You're not in your projects. You're not with your abusive stepfather. You're not even in your country. You're in a different place of the world where people actually genuinely like you and they care about you. And it's not because of what you can do for them. It's a genuine care. So what the hell's wrong with you? And once I was able to figure that out, then I started to open up more, and become a little bit more friendly, and yeah, and then started to travel the world, and with an open mind, and that's
Right.
kind of like what changed me. But that was the first step of the change in my mindset, is happened in Germany, the first
Yeah.
month and a half.
Yes. Yes. That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that, killing you with kindness.
Yeah,
And that's how we all
sucks.
have to do.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. It makes you, when you kill someone with kindness, it's crazy, because it actually makes that person burn inside. It makes you really burn inside. If someone's like cursing you out, you're like, yeah, I love you too, man. That's worse. It's really
right.
worse than cursing back. Cursing
Right.
back is easier for them, because now they let go of that aggression. It comes back at you. But when you say,
Right.
"Yeah, I love you too, man," now all of a sudden, I'm like, what? No, yeah, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. I definitely experienced it.
That's wonderful. That's awesome. So Courage Giver had a question. I think this was around the time that we were talking about food.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
she said, "Do you eat American-based tofu?"
Oh, actually, I don't really like tofu. And the only reason I don't like tofu is actually tofu is extremely healthy for you and it's very, very good for you. But I I have a problem with certain textures of foods, and if the tech if I feel the texture is a certain way, so I don't like anything that's like soft or mushy kind of foods. It could
Right.
taste amazing, but I won't eat it. Yeah,
Okay. So it's safe to say you do not like applesauce. You said soft or mushy. Right.
that's tricky. Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the next question. And it's also from the Courage Giver. She said, "Are you an intentional mentor to teen boys?"
Yeah, recently post pandemic, I've been doing like a lot of talks. I give a lot of talks, like, I travel around the country, to schools. Just like when you saw the video of me
Mm-hmm.
playing for that, so that school, they made an assembly for me to play for them, and
Wow.
talked about, and these kids are very young, but at a young age they wanted to teach them about gun violence
Mm,
and just how to live, your life with purpose. And
yes.
that's why I was there, and it was part of a charity called Ping Pong for Poverty. So
Okay.
I do a lot of talks in schools, different events, based around a film that I have that we made, which is a documentary, short documentary. And there's like a Q&A, and then we talk about that kind of stuff. We do like conversation, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm more of a conversation person. Like, I've already been asked to do a TED talk and I turned it down. I'm really not interested in getting up anywhere and just talking. I think
Right.
for me, it's pointless. Like, I need to conversate. I need that feedback. I need to go back and forth. Let's talk. Conversation I can do. It's no problem. I like that. But getting up and talking, I don't like it.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. All right. If you're joining us, Wally has been so gracious to be here for 47 minutes and answering questions. And so if you have any questions, go ahead and put that in the question box, and I'll have Wally answer it. Oh, Courage Giver said, "What a phenomenal." Thank you both. Yes, thank
Thank you.
you. It's been amazing. Wally, how I met Wally is through Clubhouse. We both are moderators for the TikTok, um, was it free masterclass
Yeah.
room. And so that's how I met him. So I haven't actually met him in person. We're seeing face to face
Yeah, yeah.
for the first time.
Time. Yes, 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 yes,
So
yes,
it's
yes.
awesome. It's awesome. Well, Wally, before we go, is there anything that you want our viewers to know about you, or any words of wisdom that you want to give
Definitely,
before we end? Yes.
definitely. I think one of the most important things, we as people who are trying to do our best to get to wherever we want to go, is that we need to understand that there are always going to be haters. And I like to address this because I think it's really important how you handle your haters,
Mm.
right? For me, my haters are my inspiration. I love my haters. I love them, love them, love them, because proving haters wrong, and when you do it, there's no feeling like that in the world. No matter what you do, no matter how kind you are, no matter how much love you have to give, there's always gonna be haters lurking around. It's the way the world works. But you should use those haters as as stepping stones to push you to even go stronger, to go harder, to get to where you want to be. So I just want to say that everything is possible. Change is always possible. You just need to have an open mind and take action.
Yes, awesome. Oh my gosh, phenomenal. I love that. Love that. I'm going to use it as a clip on Reels, TikTok, because
Definitely.
I repurpose all of this on all
Yes,
social media
yes, yes.
platforms. And so that's the part I'm taking out. So thank you, Wally. This will be available in full in video on Instagram. It'll be in full on my channel, Bernice Taylor, my YouTube channel, in its entirety. And then you'll see clips all along on Pinterest, Instagram, on TikTok, and LinkedIn. So thank you, Wally. This has been amazing getting to know you better. And you just have, oh my gosh, just incredible advice that you
Thank you.
give. So thank you so much for gracing my live today.
And thank you
And
for having me.
oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. So thank you, everyone that stayed. Thank you, everyone that's watching the replay. And please leave comments after this video has been put in full. So thank you, everyone. And so I will now end my live. Thank you so much, Wally. I appreciate
Thank you.
you.
And maybe we need to do this on TikTok one day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We definitely need to do it on TikTok.
Let's do that. Let's set a date. Let's set a
Yes, yes,
date
for
to
sure,
do
for
this
sure.
on TikTok. Absolutely. I would love it. I would
For
love it.
sure. I think it'd
All
be
right.
really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, it is. I'm excited about that. Courage Giver said yes. So,
Yes.
all right. So, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And whenever I'm in New York, I'm checking out Spin.
Yes.
Yes. And I mean, the closest one to me, I'm in Missouri. So, the closest one to me would be Chicago, right?
Yeah, Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's like 8 hours away. So,
But
whenever,
if you know you're going there ahead of time, you should
right.
tell me, and I'll take the trip to go to Chicago.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, for sure. So if you know you're gonna be in
Yes.
Chicago for sure, and you know like ahead of time, you just tell me, and then I'll go out to Chicago.
Yes, that's awesome because I was in Chicago this year for my husband and I, our 32nd anniversary. We
Wow. Congrats.
celebrated in Chicago. So yes, I'm sure we'll go again. So yes, I will tell you.
All right,
That
cool.
would be awesome. Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank
And
you.
bye. Bye,
See you
everyone.
later.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye.